Hello there, you're watching SME on Point. My name is Diabo Seto. Thank you so much for staying with us. So since the beginning of the US-Iran conflict, the SABC News has been focused on the impact of this tension on both the domestic and global front. Chief among this is the escalating oil price currently at $100 a barrel. But how should you, as an SME owner and a startup, prepare for this period of increased volatility as well as cost pressures over the coming months? Ronaldo Josie is the Chief Operating Officer at Unconventional CA, and he's here to tell us how you can navigate the space. Welcome to SME on Point. Thank you so much for your time. First of all, I was just listening to that interview with my colleague Mfundo and the CEO of Standard Bank, where he says that at this moment, it's very difficult to know what is going to happen next. But what are the immediate pressure points that you're kind of seeing, particularly for SMEs that are based in South Africa during this volatile period, Ronaldo?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the intro. So it's actually for SMMEs, right? When we think about it, it's not so much a geopolitical impact that they would have so much as the bigger issue here is around the visibility that our SMMEs actually have around their financial data and, like about processes and their governance. So not knowing how to structure their costs is the bigger issue here at hand.
Yeah, there are obviously inflationary pressures that will be coming through in the next 3 to 6 months. But now with those pressures, how does one structure their cash flow, their payment terms, so that they avoid this crunch period?
Yes. So another good question. Earlier to what I was saying, right, about not having the visibility around costs. When we think about it in today's landscape for SMMEs, not only is demand going to be softer because with the inflation, all consumers are going to have a lower disposable income. So not only will demand be softer, but also there will be increased costs for the SMMEs. Yes. So it's a double whammy. Yeah. So what we need to understand is SMMEs now, they need to have that grip on their cash flow. They need to go to customers and say, listen, what are my payment terms? When can you pay? They need to go to their suppliers.
So start making arrangements now before it gets worse. Yeah.
Correct.
Wow. Let's talk about what kind of interventions are available should things escalate and take longer to settle down. We saw during the COVID period when the government came in with those reliefs, yet there were very few businesses that actually were able to benefit from that. What do you think governments and big corporates in this instance can do to help cushion the effects should it last longer than what we're seeing currently?
Yes. So at the moment, we're not really sure where the Brent prices would go. However, it's always prudent to plan in advance. So when we look at what government and big corporates can do in terms of their interventions, it's more than just motivation, right? It's actually advice, like advisory side. It's practical help to get them to get accountants to come in and actually look at what's going on with the SMMEs. Yeah. Get that transparency between the accountant and the SMMEs so they can plan for the future.
Ronaldo, we've asked about 3 entrepreneurs about their views on this essay, on the US-Iran conflict and how they see it and how they see it impacting their business. Perhaps we could just throw our attention to the video wall to hear what they have to say. The colleagues are preparing that clip for us shortly.
The Middle East war has a major impact on small businesses because the import and export trade for cleaning equipment and detergents are slightly steep now. It's just a physical and a clear evidence that indeed the war is interconnected to us indirectly.
The global conflicts with such tensions in the Middle East significantly affect the tourism industry by influencing travel confidence, flights and fuel. As a small and medium tourism business, we remain adaptable and plan carefully and stay resilient. Despite the global challenges, the company remains optimistic and committed to promoting tourism in South Africa.
I believe this situation that is happening in Middle East affect economy so badly. You can look at the fuel now. Fuel is increasing. Cargo takes time to be delivered. And we as a tour operators, especially from South Africa, we wanted to plan tour trips from South Africa to the other countries or other continent. But now our people are scared because of this situation. So that affects us so badly as well.
All right, Ronaldo, we saw the cleaning detergents and the two who are in the tourism industry. If you were already in the process of getting into those industries, what do you do now?
Yeah, so there's a lot to actually unpack from that and your question actually. So I'll try and go through everything and answer it comprehensively. So it's not just those SMMEs that actually would be affected, like in the logistics, right? Because when we think about it, it's going to be an array of SMMEs. And ultimately, it's going to be inflation as well. And when inflation goes up, we know the customers are also impacted. So it's not just like the diesel, it's the inflation, it's the food, it's logistics, it's diesel that goes into your generators. It's a lot. So ultimately, that cost is going to be affected on the SMMEs. And what we need to look at is, with our SMMEs, is actually finding a way to mitigate those risks of sudden spikes and increases in their costs. So to plan, to forecast better, to get them that visibility, actually. Because when we think about it, right, for big corporates, an increase in the oil price is more like a headline for them. It's not something they see on a dashboard. But for our SMMEs, it affects today's bank balance.
Yeah. Ronaldo, I wish we could talk more, but our next guest is also going to explore this because he is in the mining industry, and we're going to find out from him how he's particularly impacted. Here on the show, we really want to be connected with what's happening in the rest of the world and show SMEs as well as startups how they can navigate those muddy waters, as it were. But thank you so much. We appreciate your presence here on SME On Point. Thank you so much for your time.